Hey guys, it's SF. As you can see, there are 5 monsters, and that means I'm going to talk about the new Hatcher that's going to be coming out soon. There are 5 monsters, like always, one of each color. This time there are 2 4-star monsters and 3 5-star monsters, and I'll be talking about them. Uh, I would say in general, just looking at this, everybody has their own use in dungeons. Some are more niche than others, but they're all useful. So let's start with the 4-star monsters. First one is Flare. She is a very good 4-star monster in my opinion. Pre-evolved version, Drone Breaker. Weak stats because she is a burst type. That means her homing 8 is pretty high up there in terms of power. I'm not really sure about her rankings in terms of power on those, but should be on the top. Strike Shot, Speed Up. Let's look at her evolved version. She has a flight and a drone breaker for normal ability and a gauge shot of a null damage wall. Stats are down there, but she does have high speed. She is a bounce, so drone breaker wise not the best, but she is one of the very few drone breakers out there, and there might be a piercing drone breaker somewhere, but I don't remember. Strike Shot, Speed Up Power Up, and Homing 12 for Bump Combo. She is your number 1 pick for drone breakers. She is better than the Black Power Ranger, Black Monster Ranger. I think she's like the only useful drone breakers in all of the game, especially with her null damage wall. So even if you don't have, because later in the future, it's not only drones that break out damage walls. As you can see, there are a lot of monsters and even the shields, so it's easier to break drones with her. And drones also break. Her drone breaker also breaks the ones that let out the warp shields, warp zones. So she's fine, and it does do more damage to shields, but not instant 1 kill. But if you bounce it off the walls, you can probably get it. You can probably break those shields down even better with a normal monster. But she's pretty good in my opinion. Very niche in terms of the dungeons. If they have drones or something, but if you're just starting out, and she is also good for a null damage wall as long as you practice her gauge shot. Next up, the second 4-star monster, Barudoru. I don't know what her name is going to be in English because I didn't really check out the English pronunciation for this. For him actually, it's not her, it's a him. But no gravity barrier, piercing, high speed. Strike Shot is the same as slowing. Bash the first contacted enemy, and Spread Shot. Piercing, homing 4. First bump combo. Evolve form. No gravity barrier stays the same, but a gauge shot of Aetherian Slayer, EL. High speed as always, and strike shots same. Bump combo turns to piercing homing 6. If you haven't seen my Japanese videos, I used her against Visceron. Visceron is an Aetherian, so it's pretty easy to use her against Visceron. And Fenrir, which is going to be a descent monster, in this series of event ascension materials. Paired up with Roy's, there are a Wrecking Aetherian Slayer team. If you haven't seen her in action, I use her and Roy's on Visceron, as I said before. So check that out. But she is more niche than Flare. Of course, there's only a select number of descent dungeons with Aetherians, so Visceron, Fenrir are the ones that are out so far, or coming out. So not the best, but she is a keeper in my opinion. But yeah, if I want to do like a 4-star party, maybe I'll use him. I keep on saying her. I keep on getting confused. I just think all the cute guys slash girls are hers. Yeah. But let's look at the 5 stars. Starting off with blue, Verthandi. No damage wall. Strike shot of a speed up on a pre-evolve and a blast, mega blast on bump combo. Let's look at evolve. Stats are very balanced because she is a balanced type. No damage wall for evolve. Stats are pretty up there. Strike shot, she becomes a piercing type and a giga blast. For bump combo, let's look at the ascend version. No damage wall, no gravity barrier. Stats are pretty not that much different. Probably this one, the speed is higher. I'm not really sure. Let's check. Speed is higher. Speed is higher, but attack and HP are lower. Piercing, cross laser L, vertical laser S. As you can see, she's one of the few monsters with a no damage wall and no gravity barrier. Which one will I choose is of course Ascend version because of the double abilities, and cross laser L and vertical laser S are always a good add-on. She does have weaker stats, but that's pretty much made up for her double abilities. And I think instead of, if the evolve version have no gravity barrier, maybe I'll choose the evolve version, but since she doesn't, the evolve version doesn't, I would go for the ascend. Now if you're gonna compare her with Odyo, I think that Odyo is better than Verthandi, although they have the same abilities and I think the same pump combos. Well, the vertical, the cross laser, the EX laser is the same, I think. But I think Odyo is better because Odyo's strike shot is probably has more potential of doing more power than Verthandi, and Odyo has better synergy with wood monsters because of Kushinada later in the future and Yugurashu, which I'm gonna explain. But if you're building a water team, she is very versatile as well. Pretty much serves the same functions as Odyo, but Odyo is better in terms of the overall game, in my opinion. Because Odyo strike shot does do more power and it does break drones. Verthandi just pierces enemies, which can be good. She does have high speed to do that, but okay speed. Let's not say high speed, okay speed, but not really the. She can't really beat Odyo in terms of overall effectiveness. But yeah, go for Ascend version for Verthandi. Next one, Yugu. Yugu Dashiru. If you see my videos, I used her a lot. Piercing, no damage wall, high speed, although for bounce type, and lightning, meteor for strike shot and giga blast and mega blast. For bump combo, let's look at evolve version. Ability Minesweeper and a geisha with no damage wall. Very high speed for a piercing monster. Strike shot's the same. Bump combo for giga blast for bump combo. Now strike shot is the same as Zeus, just so you know. Ascend version, only the no damage wall stays. Not so bad for speed, for piercing type. Let's look at stats difference. I think evolve version has higher speed, has a lot of higher speeds, but the Ascend version does have a lot more power. I'll get to a little bit more about the differences later. But strike shot, meteor, lightning meteor, same as Zeus. Bump combo with a giga blast and a piercing homing 4. Now Yugu is a very hard to explain in terms of what to if you want to evolve or you want to ascend, because evolve version does have Minesweeper. Evolve version, if you go for the evolve route, she is better in terms of monsters, dungeons with mines, and in the future there are a lot of mines, and a lot of dungeons with mines actually. But the ascend version does have more power in her strike shot, because the strike shot scales off with attack, and the ascend version has more attack. I can call it a coin flip of where you want to evolve or ascend, but in the early runs, in the early game where there's not much Minesweepers, I would go for the evolve version. But late game, when there's a lot more Minesweeper monsters out there, I would go for the ascend version. But it really depends on your team. But the main difference is that evolve has a Minesweeper, which is very, very good in a lot of dungeons with mines. Like, you can just destroy Queen Butterfly with Yugurashiru. But Ascend version does do more power in her strike shot, and does have the extra bump combo as well. But if you only have one, for now, go for the evolve version, especially if you're doing Queen Butterfly farming. But later on, you can go for the Ascend version. But it really depends on what you want. If you just want more power, then just go for the Ascend. But if you want to go for safety, go for the evolve version. If you have two, I would suggest go for both, one of each. But either way, she is a very good pick. She synergizes really well with Kushinada later in the future, because she is a piercing blast, so she can just go through enemies and go for Kush straight on, and then use Kushinada's plasma, and then do tons of damage. And Kushinada can also activate her plasma through her as well. But yeah, Yugurashiru is pretty good. Last one is Loki. Minesweeper. Poor stats, but he is a burst type. Strike shot is the same as Striker. Strike Junior. Bash first contacted enemy and shoots out a laser. Vertical laser L for bump combo for pre-evolve. Let's look at evolve version. Minesweeper doesn't change. Stats are pretty down there. Strike shot is the same, but bump combo is a one-way laser EL with 34,000 power. He trumps, in terms of power, he trumps Margaret, Arthur in terms of the one-way laser only. He's not that much better against in terms of like stats, abilities, or strike shot. But if you just want like a monster with just like a one-way laser to like attack enemies, then he is the pick. But let's look at the Ascend version. He changes a lot. So ability, null damage wall, Fiend Slayer. Yeah, Fiend Slayer. For the gaze shot, skill, the stats are pretty much higher than the evolve version because he turns into a balance type. Strike shot is the same, but bump combo is a Giga Blast with the one-way laser M. Now, who I choose is gonna be the evolve version. Why? Because Ascend version, he does have his uses, but the Ascend version really, there are better cards out there for the Ascend that beats the Ascend version straight up. Like, I think Yugurashiru beats out, in terms of bump combo, Yugurashiru beats out the Ascend version of Loki for sure. A lot of monsters do, but for the Ascend version, Loki's just a placeholder instead of anything really useful. What I mean by placeholder is like a monster that won't get you killed, but that monster won't help you win. Let's just say that. Depending on the dungeon, not like overall, not like general overall effectiveness, like overall teams, but he's a placeholder for some dungeons in terms of the ascended form, but evolve form is the way to go for the one-way laser only. He is out of the 3 5-star. He is the most average. Not really something that you want to re-roll for. Minesweeper always is okay as well, but you only gonna use Loki for the one-way laser. Anything else is probably not the best. He is a deity, so a lot of deity slayers are out there. So let's take a look at my standings. So number 1 is Yugurashiru. He beats up she wow, I'm really bad, but she's gonna replace your Zeus if you actually roll her. I'm gonna say it on record. Zeus is gonna fall off, and Yugurashi is gonna take his place, and that's for any dungeon, even fire dungeons, in my opinion, that you can use her as long as she's the only grass wood monster. But if you're using her in fire dungeons, there might be better cards that's not like in terms of water monsters, and you probably won't use her because of just the weakness. But she is better than Zeus in terms of that, because Zeus doesn't do that much damage besides his strike shot. But yeah, Yugurashi number 1, she's gonna replace Zeus. I'm gonna say that again. But number 2 is Verthandi. She is like an Odo, but a water version of Odo, but Odo does do better. But in terms of this series alone, she is pretty high up there. Third one, I'm gonna say Loki, but it is pretty close with number 4, which I was gonna say later. Loki one-way laser is pretty OP with that 34,000. Number 4 is Freyr. She is a versatile support type monster. Why I don't really like it really depends on your positioning with Loki. That's why it's kind of a flip, a toss up between 3 and 4 for those two. 5 is Barudoru because of her niche. There are very few dungeons where she can be useful, but she is going to be useful in those dungeons. You can, if you play against Vitron or Fenrir, she can replace a 5-star, 6-star monster straight up. But that's gonna be my commentary on this new series. It was pretty long, but I hope you like it and subscribe this channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.